I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist, nor am I fit to give proper advice to any topic. Take my words with a grain of salt to form your own reflections. Reading the comments is advised.
Hello. Welcome to the show where I share my opinion about topics that people go through and what they struggle with. As always, if you want to share your struggles/concerns with the show, the inbox is in the description below. Enjoy the video. This is an interesting one. How to avoid distractions while working from home. What are your best tips and tricks for staying on task while working from home? Do you have a routine, special tools, or habits that help you keep distractions at bay? I found this interesting as an editor. With editing in general, you're typically behind a computer, so many hours a day. Depending on how complex a video is, this content, not so much. Auto subtitles exist and all kinds of fun things exist with editing nowadays that, make your life a lot easier. In general, growing up with editing since I was 14, when technology isn't where it's at, which it's not too crazy far editing wise, but it's pretty far. I could be sitting there on a computer for 14 hours a day, and it's a lot. Like at the end of the day, I would get up and I just feel so dehydrated. My heart will be racing, and I'll kind of be like in that zoomed out state. Like when you walk on a treadmill for like, I don't know, a mile or whatever, and then you get off and you're like, whoa, I feel super light. Like, why does everything, even my vision, feel like kind of enhanced, almost like a first hit off of a cigarette enhanced? And it's not something to be underestimated. You know, uh, Sometimes if you can get in the zone like that, it's great and you don't have to worry about it. But there's times where you're at school, or sorry, not at school, but doing school work, or just doing something for a job. And when you take my favorite hobby, editing, and do it for work or do it for money, it's a whole other scenario. It feels like the days are dragged on forever. You can't sit there and not fidget with something. My habit specifically is actually just drinking something, and not like a liquor or anything. Like, I'm a casual sipper, is what I like to call it. So whenever I have a drink, I'll just set it off to the side. I'll take a sip, close the cap, put it off to the side. And like not even like 4 seconds later, I'll do the same thing over and over again. And I don't know where I gained this habit from. It's probably just my ADHD or undiagnosed ADD or whatever. But I found that having windows available is amazing, which kind of goes into the whole desk setup or just setup in general. Sometimes you're working from home and it's not on a computer. You could be writing things down on a tablet. You could be sitting down on a couch. I think what's important, is to find your vibe, is to find what you feel natural in. If you put yourself in your room and inside your room you don't feel at ease, then that's not where you should do it in the house if you have that option. What I really like is that my desk setup is set up to, there's a window directly behind my computer, and since it's in the corner, there's a window directly to the left of my computer, and it's letting natural light in. And I can't tell you how many times I've just done better in life when natural light is part of the equation. Even in school, I've been to several high schools, and specifically one high school was overcrowded, had absolutely no windows because it was built like a square. So if you're anywhere except for the edges, you didn't get any form of natural light. It was just that tungsten fluorescent lights that were just beaming down yellow, and that felt awful. I felt trapped. I felt like I was in a prison. I felt like I couldn't focus. But with natural light, and not just to stare out the window or anything, just natural light in general makes me feel a lot more productive and better. Especially, and it kind of helps that I'm a morning person as well. Um, and I feel like you kind of almost have to be to work from home, for the most part. I mean, obviously, working from home can be overnight as well, and in a lot of cases it is. Um, but you kind of have to have that morning mindset where you get up, you set your little station up, you get all comfy, you get ready, you have your drink, your a snack or whatever next to you, so you don't have to get up, and you get in the most comfortable position where you won't have to be moving around as much. I think doing that and getting natural light has been the biggest help for me. I still kind of have to move around a little bit from time to time. I've been able to narrow it down, to just like one body part moving. It could be a finger, it could be my wrist, it could be my ankle. Having these objects on my desk at least gives me something to do, and they're natural. I naturally wake up from around 6:30 when I sleep in, and I know that's pretty crazy, but I normally wake up at 5 for work. Doing that has set me up to where, okay, it's a new day, it's a new me. I can sit behind a desk in my PJs, roll up my windows, have some natural light come in, turn on my PC, and get to work. What it is you're setting yourself up for success. Having the right environment means everything from working from home. And sometimes it's listening to music. Music doesn't necessarily work for me. A lot of times, unless I was like playing chess back in the day. Depending on what you're working on, music helps. Podcasts really, really help. Just I don't like mini podcasts. In fact, I'm very picky about them. But at work, I love my podcasts. I'll just choose. I'll find my one or two, and then just absolutely grind it out. And listening to those podcasts, I can not only focus on the words, but I can focus on what I'm doing as well. It's not music, where I feel like music is very emotional. It changes what you're thinking and what you're going through. Like if I, for example, I listen to rap music or hardcore 90s metal, my mood and my mind is going to be in two different places with those musics. I said musics. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but my best tips I can give is just setting up your environment really well. It can even go as deep as just securing a proper home life. If you live with family that you don't get along or whatnot, maybe it's time you try and figure out the best place around your house you can work from home. It doesn't have to be inside necessarily. If you have a back porch that you can sit on, that isn't going to distract you, or you don't need to make phone calls or whatever. I don't necessarily use any fidget toys specifically. It's not meant for everyone. More power to you if you find one that works. And these are just some of the things I do and keep in mind when working from home. Not everyone will be the same on this matter, but this is a real struggle. Whether it's from work, school, or just standard projects you're working on from home, it can be difficult, especially with those who have ADHD and other disorders. Be sure to share what you do when you have something to work on from home. I'm interested in how people handle their focus. As always, thanks for your time. I hope this can provide positive reflection and be something to work on for you. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.